Welcome everyone to Blockrocket monthly pitch event organized by Research Network. So before the event starts, I would like to give a quick introduction about the event logistics. So as this event is going to be big, everyone is going to be muted except for the speakers. If you have any question or suggestion during the talk, you can scan the QR code to join our WhatsApp group and then post all the questions there, as well as interacting with our startup founders. That is from my side. Sarah, do you want to start the event now?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Alexandra, for the quick introduction. And hello, everyone. Once again, welcome to everyone to the first monthly pitch event of 2022. I hope you all have a good start of the year and everyone is healthy. So as everyone knows that for our old community member and for the new members, we are investor based out of Germany. We invest in early blockchain-based startups and help them to grow. So myself, I'm Sagar Barwalia, investment manager at Blockrocket. As I said, we are like early stage startup investor. We are investing in pre-seed seed startups. We are located in Germany, though we are investing around the globe. As you can see, we are mostly focusing on the Europe-wide region, but startup from around the globe can apply for our investment. After the investment, what we do, we help our startup with matchmaking and networking, marketing. We also on top provide the advisory. We have a quite big ecosystem, and we are located with many stakeholders from the blockchain space around the globe. So we help find lots of synergy for our startups. Once we invest into them, we are also quite active regarding doing some panel events and podcasts. We also organize every month pitch events. So on a year average, we do 20+ events. We have like a sophisticated application process. So if you are early stage founder looking for funding, you can go to our website, blockrocket.io, or you can reach out to us if you have some more, if you need some more details. These are our portfolio startups. You can see we invest in deep tech startups. And yeah, as I said, you can go and check out on our website. And if you need some specific details about each portfolio startup, you can also visit their website, or we are always easily reachable on LinkedIn or Twitter, and you can also reach out to us via email. So this is the Blockrocket team. As you can see, we are quite young team, but we are also supported by some of the veterans from venture capital space. So yeah, that's all from my side. And I would like to quickly ask our jury members to introduce about themselves. So I think let's start with the ladies first. So we have Susan from Coinex. She's the CEO of Coinex. Susan?
Hi there, I'm Susanna. I'm CEO of Coinex, and we are an investment company that is focused on blockchain and crypto innovation, and we raise capital via the traditional stock market, via our shares listed on a Düsseldorf Stock Exchange. We have quite a broad investment focus. So we invest in blockchain innovation in traditional industries, but also in DeFi projects, and NFT projects, and also infrastructure projects. So for instance, we are an early investor in the Graph. And I'm very looking forward to the pitches today.
Thanks a lot, Susan. Next jury, we have Sarah Finnegan from Antler. Sarah?
Afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be part of the pitch event today. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Sarah, director at Antler. Antler is a global early stage venture capital firm. We work with founders from the very moment that they decide that they want to build something. We operate globally, present now in 17 locations across the world, representing major kind of entrepreneurial hubs, including London, Berlin, Stockholm, New York, and Singapore and Sydney. We also have a broad investment focus, so investing across a number of technology sectors. At Antler Berlin, we invested into 17 companies last year, and the companies funded represent a wide variety of sectors, so fintech, clean tech, ed tech, med tech, cybersecurity, and of course, Web3. And on Web3, Antler is actively seeking founders looking to transition and to build in Web3. So again, really around our conviction in the blockchain and crypto space being the major blocks for the future. If anyone is interested, please reach out to me directly.
Thank you, Sarah. We have last but not least, Wolfgang Mennel from DFG Group.
Cool, and good afternoon from me as well. I'm Wolfgang, Head of Venture Capital at Blockchain Founders Group. You've also seen my name in Blockrocket because we work very closely together. We invest in the seed phase of blockchain startups with tickets of up to $500,000. Very glad to be here with my fellow jury members, Susanna and Sarah, and excited to hear from our founders.
Thanks a lot, Wolfgang. So let's start with the first startup. So we have Boyd Cohen from Internet of Mobility. So Boyd, you can start sharing your screen.
Hello, can you hear me and see the screen, right?
Yes, you can start.
Great. Boyd Cohen, CEO, co-founder of IoMob. Thanks for the invitation. We operate in the mobility space, as Sagar mentioned, the Internet of Mobility. Today, it's a very exciting industry. It's been going through its own digital transformation disruption. As Mark Andreessen said 10 years ago, software is eating the world, and it's been proven quite true over the last 10 years in the mobility space as well, being disrupted and fragmented. And that's creating challenges for users in terms of a user experience, but also for enterprise who want to tap into this sort of growing opportunity to offer mobility to users. IoMob stands for the Internet of Mobility. We're building a decentralized Internet of Mobility protocol so that any user of any interface connected to the IOM can discover, route, book, and pay for any vehicle connected to the IOM anywhere in the world. So how do we approach this is that IoMob has built our own in-house modal APIs that allow us to rapidly ingest APIs from fleet operators, scooters, bikes, taxis, all the rest. We integrate them deeply into our network, our protocol. Then that is exposed to enterprise customers who want to display this mobility experience in their own interface. It could be a web, kiosk, and/or a mobile app, for example, via our API, an SDK, native, or in some cases, a white label app. This right here gives you a bit of a sense of one of our commercial clients. They're US, they're owned by SoftBank. They had a very rigorous global competition to find the best tech provider to support them as they embarked on this ambition to not just be a rail operator, but a mobility company. And our technology allows that because they don't just get to offer rail journeys in their interfaces, but they can offer door-to-door experiences, leveraging our own in-house journey planner, as well as deeply integrated mobility supply. We have Via, a $3 billion ride-hailing or a bus on-demand company connected. We have bike sharing services connected and parking and other things so that a user can figure out the best way to go from South Beach, Miami, and by the end of this year, they'll be going all the way to Disney World, for example. So the tech stack is basically all these modal APIs, the journey planner, and then these interfaces that allow enterprises to access this network of vehicles, the growing network of vehicles connected to the IOM protocol. Over time, we'll be doing nodal auctions from the protocol itself. So other organizations will be able to run all this tech stack around the world, enabling this interoperability as any user of any interface connected to IOM can move around cities, regions, countries, even across the continent, and gain access to mobility vehicles wherever they are, leveraging the brand and the experience they're used to and whatever loyalty programs or other reasons that an airline, a transport operator, or other might offer this kind of mobility experience, including this roaming experience for their users. IoMob was started originally in 2017. We were incubated by Jamie Burke at Outlier Ventures. We then kind of spun off IoMob as a new entity in 2018. We've been on our decentralization journey, but early on, we focused really on building the tech, building the ecosystem, learning from our customers, generating real revenue. We had a little over 700,000 euros in commercial revenue last year. We have commercial clients. We're deploying commercially right now. We went through trials in the last few years. It's a big stack, but we're now commercial. These are examples of some amazing partnerships we have and how they can be a real leverage to grow the Internet of Mobility protocol worldwide. Cubic, some of you may know, is the world's largest fare collection and ticketing agency for transit agencies around the world, whereas Tata probably needs no introduction. We're working with them on a commercial opportunity in North America. And we've integrated over 40 mobility services, including companies like Tier and Voi, Bolt, via, I mentioned before, taxi services, parking aggregators to make this seamless mobility experience happen. We have 3 verticals that we're servicing, and as we decentralize, other organizations will be able to service leveraging the IOM protocol. So the first 2 we knew about when we started IMO. Obviously, public sector facing transit is an interesting opportunity. Private is maybe even more interesting. Transport operators, airlines, private transport operators wanting to offer multimodal mobility. But this last one has been kind of a surprise for us and really emerged last year, which is this sort of kind of super app space, which are companies in fintech or that do corporate mobility programs or others who also want to offer mobility to their user base or their employees. And that's either for climate reasons to get them to use more sustainable choices, or it's because they want to create a more sticky app and find ways to generate more throughput through their payment gateways, leveraging the millions of users they already have installed in their existing apps. Wrapping up, the 3 PhD co-founders, we've had 7 startups between us, 3 exits, 22 employees right now. We're hiring 10 engineers in case there's some on the call that are interested. And we are in the process of a SAFT raise right now. We just started a few weeks ago, and we started raising, already have some US blockchain funds and APAC funds already invested in IOMob at this point. I'll leave it at that and open to any questions.
Thank you, Boyd. Julie, if you have any question, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can kick off. Thank you very much, Boyd. So taking a look into some early traction that you mentioned completing early trials, securing some commercial clients. What is some of the traction that you've achieved beyond that? Would love to hear your thoughts on around the detail of that.
Yeah, I think actually this is good. We're on this slide to respond to that more directly in the sense that these are, the Ford was a trial, Renfe was a trial. The ones to the left of Renfe are commercial projects or clients. So I already mentioned Brightline. London North Eastern Rail is the UK rail operator that goes from London to Aberdeen, Scotland. They chose IOMob for a commercial deployment. They're actually deploying a bunch of interfaces connected to IOMob. Our standalone off-the-shelf white label app. They're introducing our SDK into their existing mobile app. And they're also going to deploy our API into their web booking engine. We have 40 deals that are qualified leads right now around the globe. Many of them are with some of these partners I mentioned and are named here. I think we have 6 in discussion or in negotiation with them, for example, mostly in Europe, but in other markets as well. On the supply side, as I mentioned, I think we have around 40 suppliers of mobility services that are already integrated into our platform. And we have a few dozen more waiting for integration that we have commercial agreements for, but we're hiring more engineers to do the integration work. So in a nutshell, I guess that summarizes the commercial traction so far. Mostly North America and Europe, but some interest and opportunities in other markets.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Thanks. I have also a question now. So could you talk a bit about the competitive landscape and how you compare to other blockchain-based mobility platforms such as Blocksmooth? So. Yeah, we actually only recently discovered Blocksmooth, to be really honest with you. So only in the last few weeks. We've been doing this probably, I guess, as long as they have, because I think they were being incubated in Daimler since around the same time we got started. We did look at their white paper. There's definitely some overlap in terms of the conceptual approach to enabling some kind of aggregated protocol approach to mobility services. We haven't dove deep enough to be really specific, and they're a little bit less public about what's already been achieved because they haven't done, to my knowledge, commercial deployments. So there's a little less information about them regarding exactly the status of their technology, but the concept behind it is very similar to IOMob, which in fact, we've done a review of all the companies we're aware of that are trying to do anything with the intersection of blockchain and mobility. And they're the only one that seems to have any legitimate similarity to what we're trying to achieve. So we're probably close. I think they tended to be more German focused so far, I believe. If someone's around and can tell me I'm wrong is fine. IOMob kind of was born with a born global idea.
Our very first trial was in New Zealand, and the second one was in the US, and we've done Spain and UK and Sweden, and we have a new US commercial deployment. We have a really big opportunity in Latin America. So maybe slightly different approach regarding geographic expansion. But other than that, there's some similarity in concept anyway.
Quite a quick follow-up question on what Susanne has said. Is this a winner takes it all market?
Oh, I love the question without having a good answer. I don't think so. And it depends on who you ask. You know, my opinion is, I mean, ground mobility is a $6 trillion industry right now. Is it possible one entity develops the definitive protocol that every vehicle on the planet, there's 1.5 billion of them, is connected to? Maybe. I don't think so. And you know what I actually think is going to happen? I think you'll see more interoperability. Like, of course, we're talking about layer 1 interoperability as well, but I think you'll see interoperabilities in this industry as well. And I think you'll see mobility vehicle owners, whether they're decentralized private cars, OEMs, or fleet operators, be willing to expose their vehicles to more than one platform. And I think there'll be different business models that emerge and different reasons why the same operator might say, fine, I'll expose my vehicle to 2 protocols, and therefore I increase the ability to optimize my vehicle utilization. So probably more likely there will be more than one winner in this, I think.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect. I think we are through and very well used the time. Thanks a lot, Cohen. Thanks a lot, Boyd. You can just stop sharing your screen.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. So now moving further, I would like to ask to start sharing his screen, and you can go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Akash. I'll share my screen. Okay. So can you see CIED?
Yes, perfect. We can see.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Akash Matthew, and I represent CIED. At CIED, we are about predicting how much you can trust your food. Now, let me give you a bit of background about myself and my team. So in 2013 is when we started getting into the agri-food sector. So if you really want to understand how a sustainable supply chain or fair supply chain works, you know, on top, there are organizations that create standards. It could be a multinational NGO, certification bodies, or it could be a governmental organization. And in the middle, there are certification bodies who uses these standards to audit and certify every member in the supply chain, right from the farmers till the brand. So we started off with building tools for organizations that create standards. So these projects were basically funded by companies such as Unilever, IDH, and international NGOs such as Solidaridad. And in 2015, we started building tools for certification bodies, basically ERP systems. And in 2017 is when we decided, let us focus on international supply chains. Now, the reason why we decided was that, you know, after all these experiences, what we understood was food safety issues are on the rise. You know, when a food safety issue happens, it's not only that a brand recall can cost about $10 million, but irreversible brand reputational damage that comes on top is very bad. And because of the awareness level going up in the consumer market, around 3/4 of consumers say they are willing to pay more for a brand that offers total transparency. And now because of that, several brands want to get certified or they want to showcase their product as safe, sustainable. And now the consumers are asking the question, are these based on actual facts or are they using this as a tactic? Well, right now they solve it with the use of certification systems. Now, these certifications are really complicated and it involves organizing and structuring a lot of data. And the demand for certified products far outweighs the supply, resulting in an increased corruption in the system. Now, what we really need is a digital system that can help. A system that can help you organize the supply chain data from one point of the world to the other, so that you know what are the risks involved with different members in the supply chain, so that you can organize everything better, so that you can get your product certified better. And at the same time, this enables movement of goods much faster through the supply chain, so that at the end, the brand or a retailer, they can tie it up all together to create a cool farm to fork story by placing QR codes on the labels. Now, achieving this is actually a two-step process. The first step is basically data collection, and the second step is basically data analysis. So we completed the first step where we created a blockchain system that can track the flow of commodities from one point of the world to the other. Now we are getting into the second stage where we can deeply look into this data and create algorithms that can classify different data sets into different risk categories so that you reduce the issue of blockchain regarding garbage in and garbage out. Now, this is exactly what we do with brands. We help them digitize their supply chains by giving them a traceability system to track the flow of commodities, and at the same time use risk assessment algorithms to predict the risks involved, and finally give them dynamically generated QR codes that they can place on top of their product patches, which shows a clear farm to fork story. Now, if you want to look at the traction, well, we launched this product late in 2018, and since then we've generated close to 450,000 euros in revenue. And every year we've been basically doubling, as in like 100% year-on-year growth, and we are fully bootstrapped. And we do this because we sell the products via different channel partners. We have one partner called ECCert Group. They are a group of certification bodies with tens of thousands of customers in food and beverage sector. And they use our software and services and they white label and sell it to their clients. And then we also work with Fair Food. It's an NGO based out of Amsterdam. And for them, their focus is human rights in agri-food supply chains. And their vision is as crazy as moving crypto through the supply chain so that the premiums directly reach the farmers. And yeah, it's going to happen. We also have some direct sales through clients such as Cohen. They are one of the leading beeswax or natural wax producers in the world. Now, the blockchain in agriculture sector is about growing at 47% CAGR, and it's expected to hit 886 million by 2025. So this is roughly the market that we're looking into, but I see the figures are going to be way higher than this. Now, to get a better understanding of our team, well, we are a team of 46 members. There are a few people in the Netherlands, and most of our developers are based out of India. And we call ourselves local farm boys who loves coding, and that is what we feel makes us pretty unique. This is basically because technology is not, execution is what is far more important than technology itself. So for us, we are not a team that sits in one corner of the world building things for the other. We practically grew up among farms and farmers. So we know what is practical. You cannot go to a farmer and talk about blockchain, but you still need the technology to be implemented. And we've done that successfully, and we feel like we're good at that. And yeah, so that's basically about us. So if you're a brand that is listening, we would love to work with you guys on some pilot projects. And if you're an investor, we are already bootstrapped. So more than cash, what we are interested is in your network. And if you can help us grow even more aggressively than what we are doing right now. We work with some really cool partners. So right now we are accelerated by Wageningen University Start Life Accelerator Program. We are also funded by Rabobank, which is one of the largest agri-cooperative banks in the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Akash. I hand over to Jury. If you have some question, please go ahead.
Cool, yeah, I can start. So thanks very much for the presentation. And yeah, definitely a very important topic and a very important market to tackle. So, and there's, of course, a lot of startups that are trying to tackle this market. And I'm wondering, I mean, I see your traction and very congratulations on this achievement. But I was wondering, what do you think is your secret sauce? What is your unfair advantage in order to make it also in the future in this market?
Yeah, like I said, I see big tech companies getting into the market, but the thing is, agri sector is far more complicated to be a techie to implement things. You need to know the ground realities. You need to know even the single wording of SMSs that you send to farmers makes a difference on their involvement. So we feel like since we know both sides of the world, like I said, my father was an agriculture officer. My mother was a high school teacher who ended up working with a farmer cooperative. So they've been telling me about all these issues, and I've got like real world experience with supply chains and farmers. We even had some supply chain projects done, a couple of years ago. So for us, practical knowledge about what is important to implement is what I feel is differentiating factor.
Thank you.
Maybe Akash, yes, it's impressive seeing your revenue. I was always wondering about one thing. I mean, I come from the old school of marketing. I worked for an FMC company, Mars. And one of the key functionalities of a brand was always this trust. And I just wonder how many consumers would actually check the origins of the various steps to get to a final ingredient, that a final product that you buy in a supermarket. Isn't the trust in a brand enough? Because the brand knows exactly if they screw up, they will have troubles like Nestle and others had.
Yeah, so here, the brand reputation is very important. You have to get it to a certain level. And now the issue with the supply chains is when something happens, it's very tricky to figure out where the problem originated. Because in conventional traceability systems, people can always go back and change the records. Well, in the blockchain network or systems like that we have built, of course, you can update the data, but there are, timestamps associated with updating data to a certain time. So if a supplier of a brand starts updating all the information right close to and exposing a scam or an issue, then the brand can actually pinpoint that this supplier is where the risk is. So for us, it's about maintaining and improving the trust these days, because like I said, consumers, they know that things can go wrong, but they want people to be more transparent and work together with them. So it's not like everybody is going to look at every farmer, but when something happens, this is what matters.
So it's as much about the company than about the consumers.
If at the end, it's about the consumers, but if I'm a consumer and if I know something, it's not like I'm going to do it every day, but the brand has a need to maintain it every day so that they have a trust within their supply chain, so that finally consumers can trust them. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Finally, one for me, Akash, thank you. A question on your go-to-market. So in particular, across quite a complex value chain, I'm imagining there are several different players across that kind of agri-food chain, involving a significant amount of coordination. What are some of the kind of the key considerations for your go-to-market?
So go-to-market as in, is it client acquisition or is it project implementation?
Both.
Okay, so in both these cases, what you have to understand is that there are maybe hundreds of thousands of agri supply chain members, but there are only a few hundred NGOs or organizations that are connected to all of them. Now, our strategy is to work with these people as partners, as you can see from our existing channel partners. So they not only give us exposure to their network, but at the same time, they also helps us in on-ground implementation and understanding the practicality. So that's the strategy.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Akash. You can stop sharing your screen now.
Yeah.
And Churi, if you have some more further questions, please reach out to him, or I would be more than happy to make introduction later on. So moving further, I think interesting startup we have. We have Sabine from Cryptowine, and I think everyone loves the wine here. So let's see what she has to say here. Sabine, you can start sharing your screen, and please go ahead.
Yes, I will do so. Thank you for the introduction. Hello from Austria. The Capacity Blockchain Solution has his newest baby, Cryptowine, and I'm happy to present it to you today. The technology behind Cryptowine are NFTs. And imagine you don't have only those guys are getting hyped about NFTs and going through Discord, and it's the hottest topic to talk about. What if those people would become crazy about NFTs? That is something that we thought of, and Cryptowine is exactly this tackle that we want to achieve, is to have ordinary people, like not crypto heads, getting into this ecosystem, getting hyped into those blockchain products that we have. So we created Cryptowine. So it's real Austrian wine from real fine wine. So all of those Austrian wines are ranked by wine experts, and only those deserve to become an NFT wine on our platform. And as most of you know, a wine is mostly stored at the wine cellar on the perfect condition. So even though you love drinking wine, to really hold wine at the way a wine would deserve it, like how to moisture it and how to store it at the right temperature, I don't think all of us has the possibility to do so. And imagine you own your wine in a cellar that is stirred perfectly, and when you want to drink it, you can just order it by a click and it comes to you. And Austria, even though it's Austrian wine, is a young wine, so it's like stored like to 10 years, it still needs 6 years to mature and to become as brilliant as it should be. And with owning the NFT, you can solve this problem that people don't have the space or the knowledge to do so, but they enjoy perfectly stored wine and then can get it delivered. I don't need to get it delivered to myself. I maybe want to present it to somebody else. And the NFT is perfect to just send the NFT via mail, and then someone else is the owner of it. So this is basically the thing that we were able to combine. So the joy of having wine, trading wine, storing wine, drinking wine, and now something new, the NFT behind it. As you see here, something super interesting was also with the tokens. We could create some special tokens. So maybe when next time you plan your wedding, you can make a token especially for your wine or for your guests, for example. Or for businesses, it's also possible to brand your gift for Christmas with your own logo and to give away not the basic bottle that every company, every insurance or bank does every year. No, next time you can hand out NFTs. Also trading for sure is possible. So the listings of the token are now bridged to some of the well-known platforms there, or just in a peer-to-peer way. So we have a super nice community behind Cryptowine that are like checking which has what number, and they love to exchange those. And it's really nice to see how people interact with the token or the NFTs out there already. By the way, it was presented and open to the world on the NFT conference in New York, and just within the presentation, the first auction started. And there is something about the auctions. It is also auction based, so you don't know what price the wine will have when you're interested in one. It is that you bid what you think that is the value that you are willing to pay. And as we have only a limited number of always 200 bottles each, you will see if you are a lucky winner of it. And if you get the wine, then you receive the token. You put in we have it around an X DAI, so it's not the Ethereum mainnet, it's the DAI. That gives us the possibility to have not those high gas fees that you maybe know. And also the trading is much easier. So you ramp up the DAI and then you put in your DAI, and if you get the wine, you get refunded if you put in more money than the wine actually the winning prize was then. And also, like what I said before, what are the next steps that we want to introduce to our audience is credit card payment and also the login. So there are some interesting implementations from our in-house development that it makes it still more easy to people that are not crypto heads getting into NFT or into this crypto area. When you have interesting projects or some cooperation or a brand cooperation or like just technical questions, I'm happy if you reach out to me, and we maybe can cooperate or find some nice products.
Thanks a lot, Sabina, for the presentation. And I hand over to Julie. If you have some questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can kick off. Thank you, Sabine. A question on the market that you're operating in, focusing in on other players that might be building something similar. What have you been seeing in the market so far? Have you seen other players that are developing something similar? How are you differentiating it then based on that? What's your edge?
Yes, I think what differentiates us is the approach by itself. So it's not the mindset that we want to be the market for every wine of the world, like for NFT wine or anything. It is really something about Austria. If you think about wine, there are so many countries that will pop into your head. It's definitely maybe not Austria, but if it's blockchain and crypto wine, it should be Austria and the NFT wine. It is something on a B2B level that we are aiming for, and also brand creation behind it. But for sure, if I see other projects, I would love to see like Gary Vaynerchuk or like entering the market or do something with wine. I think it's so much space there for local production, for creative production, for exclusive production. So it's not a thing that you should aim for this global market and then you run it. We are focusing on, as we said, open the market to newbies, to not crypto heads, and these approaches that we are following too.
Well, Sabine, I have also a question. I'm quite curious, how are people using your platform right now? So what do you observe? Do they buy and hold? Do they trade? Do they gift mainly? And how many of them are actually shipping the bottles? So what do you observe right now? And so what do you think where this is going?
Yeah, I think like in the beginning, we attracted most of the people that are familiar with NFTs, and they were interested in there is now a real product. It's not a pixel or picture or anything. So you always have a real product in with the NFT. And for sure, for people who are most interested in the NFT, they are more often just trade the NFT or just show it in wallet or present it somewhere, less than really ordering it. At the other hand, we are seeing now this coming up interest of, as I said, the B2B market. It's a trading, branding approach there. So this will be also the same, that it's more interesting to have the NFT for the one side, and the others are really interested in the wine. And so currently the shipping is less occurring. And so what's good for the wine, it's stored longer and then it can get more of its brilliance.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Sabine, where do you see the biggest advantage of having NFTs? I mean, you talked about trading, you talked about storage and sending it to whoever you want to, but where do you see the biggest potential?
Just for the really thing is, it's not getting super rich. I don't think that we serve you on this side, but on the other side, like as I said, if I think about my room, I don't have space for it, but I am interested in wine. So the utility that comes with the NFT that we have, like that I have like 20 bottles that are stored, and if I have a big event, I want to have this bottle come to me. I think it's first time. Maybe you can offer it also without the NFT, but there is a little bit more of gamification, or the possibility to get from my hand to you the NFT. This is, I think, the most advantage now is the utility behind the NFT that comes around those wine handling and presenting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Sabine. Thanks a lot, Jury. Sabine, you can stop sharing your screen now. So we have, last but not least, startup founder who is Arjit from Bricks Protocol. Arjit, please go ahead and share your screen.
I'll just share my screen. Let me know if the screen is visible.
Yes, just like announcement, I would like to do it as I discussed with CoinX team. So just fully disclosure, the CoinX team is invested in Bricks Protocol. So just for the announcement, yeah. So please go ahead, Arjit, now.
Yeah. Thank you, Sagar. Thanks for the introduction. I'm Arjit Saraswat. I'm the founder of Bricks Protocol. And at Bricks Protocol, our mission is to become a crypto trading gateway where new users can come and learn and practice crypto trading in a competitive, risk-free environment, thanks to our tournaments module, where they can also earn actual crypto. There are 1 million new users who are entering the crypto trading space every week, and more than 60% of them stop trading because of the initial financial losses, like I did. And this high attrition in the crypto ecosystem that I just discussed can be attributed to the lack of efficient onboarding platforms. Like I experienced, and as you might have observed, there exists some solutions, but they fail to create an environment that comes close to what is present in the real world. And due to the lack of these available options, DAOs and other DeFi projects are not able to utilize their funds properly, which are meant for education and awareness. We're targeting these problems through BRICS protocol, which facilitates crypto trading experience through gamification and incentivization. Incentivization is happening through leveraging existing yield generating protocols like Aave. To visualize how we are actually facilitating this experience, let me walk you through the tournaments module, which starts with the creation of a tournament, which can be done by an individual, organization, or a DAO. They can put in a minor chunk of their treasury as the initial contribution, which sits in the yield generating protocol, which they select, for example, Aave. They will set the configuration of the tournament, for example, what all assets will be tradable, how much initial currency would be available, what would be the entry fee if there would be any, and what would be the stable coin in which this entry fee would be accepted. Once this tournament has been set up, the participants will be the protocol users who participate in this tournament by joining through entering the entry fee, and that entry fee accumulated plus the initial contribution gets sent to a yield source like Aave through smart contracts in a non-custodial manner. So Aave will be earning yield throughout the duration of the tournament, while users will be participating and doing virtual trading on the tradable assets in the tournament. And at the end of the tournament, like we say, it's a safe investment. So each user is returned their entry fee, and the creator is sent back their initial contribution, and the yield that is earned is used to reward the users who performed and made profits in the system according to their profit weightage. And then this solution and the flow has been put together as major features of the protocol, starting with virtual trading environment, which enables virtual trading inside the tournaments and outside of the tournaments with the pre-fed virtual currency. There will be multiple yield sources available, and new yield sources can also be added through governance proposals. We'll come back to the governance part later. Apart from what we have discussed in the tournament flow, at the end of each tournament, we will be distributing NFTs, which acts as a proof of reputation in terms of minted NFTs as certificates to the winners. And in future versions, we'll also be integrating LMS into our protocol where organizations can host their educational content. Coming to the soul of the protocol, the governance token BRIC. BRIC token holders will be able to govern through voting on and creating proposals like updating yield strategies, adding yield sources, changing protocol fees, etc. We will be rewarding the users for participating in these tournaments and the tournament creators for creating and hosting these tournaments initially. We have already went out and created an MVP in terms of a Web2 Play Store app, which has already gotten more than 16,000 downloads now. The MVP has all the major features condensed into the elementary form, like virtually trading, earning digital currency, checking out events, and checking out the latest news. If we talk about the competition, there exists some Play Store apps like Altcoin Fantasy, which has gamified the whole experience. There are some exchanges who have introduced the concept of demo accounts where they can trade virtually, or there are some exchanges like Nominex, which has introduced daily demo tournaments also. But these solutions still fail to create the perfect learning environment, allowing the users to formulate their own trading strategies like we envision to do. And sharing with me this vision is Vinayak, and the team together has extensive experience in data, tech, mobile app building with utmost quality and velocity. And an advisory board, we have Pandul, who is the founder of FinStreet, which is India's largest financial and blockchain education platform. Also, we have Harsh, who is the founder of VPNS. And to get this product, the beta version, we are already trying to launch in February. This is a testament to our velocity. And in the next 3 months, we'll be going full on. And to that effect, we are raising $500,000 at a valuation of 6 million. And we have already gotten around 300,000 in our account. And any interested investors can reach out at arjit@brixprotocol.com. And everybody is welcome to visit brixprotocol.com to visit and learn more about BRICS Protocol. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Arjit, for the presentation. Moving further, I would like to ask Jury if you have any questions.
Arjit, if I may ask, thanks very much for the presentation.
Yeah.
Could you say more about the business model? How do you plan to make money with it?
Yeah. So basically, what we are doing is at the end of each transaction that is taking place, we are charging initial entry fee, and initial transaction fee would be 2%, and the brick token value will be accruing as the ecosystem develops and as more and more transactions happen. And then out of the whole fees pool that we are generating, 80% will go to the token holders directly, and 20% will be kept for protocol advancements and future projects.
Okay, sorry, Wolfgang, go ahead.
And can you say something about your current traction, or is that too early because the MVP is free? Or
yeah, so basically the MVP currently that is launched is on Play Store, and we are launching the Web3 version as a web application by the next month. So we'll start getting traction then in actual crypto users.
Okay, thanks.
So
thanks,
before we move for the next question, I would like to ask. All the jury members, you received a voting sheet from my side. So please start voting for it. And I would also like to ask Alexandra to start the poll. So I encourage all the audience to vote for your favorite startup of today's speech event. And jury, if you have some questions, feel free to write me. Otherwise, yeah, it's quite easy, and yeah, I'm sure you will find it. So in meantime, we have poll running. Jury, you can also start another question if you have any.
Yeah, I can go. So question, it's an extension from the previous question, centers around the product itself. You mentioned that there's almost 16,000 downloads. So of those users, how many are actively using the product? I mean, what are some of the insights that you're getting from early users, and really how are they using it?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Sarah. And basically, the retention is a testament to the Web3 version that we are creating, and the vision that we had set out to achieve the objective of getting the users to practice crypto trading before stepping into the real trading environment. Although we had created a very simple application on the Play Store, and the Android users are coming back, and we have a retention rate of 30%, and getting that to 20% in the day 7 retention rate. And that is a testament to people being consistent in using the app and getting to practice crypto trading in a virtual simulation environment. And that's why we are confident when we include gamification and incentivization. This is something that people will go on and use before stepping into the real environment.
So as the poll is running, can we still have any more question from the jury, or it's fine?
Zanny, you have to ask a real tough question now.
Okay, perhaps you can talk a bit more. I mean, on Wolfgang was already starting this topic, but what are your plans regarding user acquisition?
Yes, so our go-to-market strategy would involve, getting campus events in colleges, because that is the most excited people of them all, who are actually excited about learning about crypto. And when we organize these college events where users can come and compete against their peers, that creates the competitiveness and the competitive environment that we actually envision to create. And then going on and doing the marketing and getting the normal users involved, and getting all the users who are actually using some centralized exchange, getting new blockchain projects who will be hosting tournaments on our protocol. So the early adopters of that blockchain project will also be converting to us and then using our protocol, and then through word of mouth, getting all their peers involved in crypto trading through the perfect onboarding platform, which is Bricks Protocol.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, jury member. So quite tough competition, but here we have the winner is IoMob. Congratulations, Boyd. Our team will reach out to you for the further process. And thanks a lot to all the founders for joining us today. I have some announcement to make. We have really good panel event coming up for end of this month. So we are going to discuss about intensively about the metaverse. So feel free to, like all our audience, feel free to join us on January 26th on metaverse. We have like a great lineup from Polygon, MGS DAO, Sandbox, and EdHedge. So yeah, if you're interested to learn more about metaverse from the top industry experts, feel free to go to our website and sign up for our next panel event. And that's all from my side today. Thanks a lot, all the jury members. Thanks a lot, all the startup founders. And please stay tuned for the next monthly pitch event and our upcoming events. Thanks a lot.